Do we know everything there is to know about shorebirds? A. No, there is more to learn. B. Yes, all the data is in. There is always more to discover about shorebirds, and scientists and researchers are learning more every day. What are some migration mysteries?
The students at Cordova Junior Senior High School know a lot about shorebirds, but even scientists don't know everything there is to know about migration. Biologists and scientists are still unraveling migration's mysteries. People have been wondering about animal migrations for centuries, and we're still trying to figure out a few things. I'm here with Dan Logan and a group of students who have been studying migration's mysteries.
That's right. Biologists have been studying shorebirds for a long time. For example, one of the things we've been figuring out over the years is as we put these little tiny transmitters on these birds, they can actually tell us where they go from time to time. And we can actually follow these birds from Panama, through Mexico, through California, through Washington, all the way up to Alaska. That's how we found out about where a lot of these stopover areas are and where these birds stay. And Matt and their class have been doing some work too. And you guys have a video, right?
Yeah, we know a lot about shorebirds, but there's still many things we don't. That's basically what this video is about.
Video.
Of migration. Wahahaha! Birds migrate to places where there is nesting habitat and a lot of food. But how did they know where there was going to be more food and nesting habitat thousands of miles away? Some biologists think birds know when to migrate because of day length and winds blowing in the right direction. Some birds migrate earlier every year. Why do they do that? Travel paths or routes develop because birds follow the wind direction that takes them to their nesting areas in the north. Using the wind this way saves a lot of energy, but sometimes birds get off track and show up in places that are off their normal migration path. Are these birds looking for new migration paths, or is it just a mistake? Small birds gain double their body weight before their migration, but it's not easy because sometimes they have bad weather, wind, and other challenges. Birds also use stopover sites to refuel and gain fat along the way. But some birds are so small that you have to wonder how they make it all that way. Studies on birds found that they use magnetic fields kind of like a compass, the stars and wind, but biologists are not sure how the birds switch between these clues. What's even more fascinating is that the chicks that have never flown south are abandoned by their parents and make the flight all by themselves. Some scientists believe that the birds are born knowing where they need to go. Wow, that's incredible! Someday we will know even more about birds and their amazing migration.
Okay, you guys learned a lot about shorebirds, it sounds like. Do you still have any other questions? How about you, Keegan?
What are the biggest risks to shorebirds during migration?
What are the biggest risks? Anybody got any thoughts on that? What do you think the biggest risks are?
People destroying their stopovers.
Anything else? What do you think, Keegan?
Bigger birds. Predators.
Yeah, those are good questions. How about, do any of you think you want to keep going and maybe study shorebirds and come back here and work on the Cup River Delta and study shorebirds? What do you guys think?
Probably.
How about coming back to Cordova and then maybe doing Cordova and Mexico studying shorebirds? What do you think of that?
Sounds pretty good.
Any other questions out there? Is there anything else you guys think you'd want to continue to study that you learned or didn't learn this?
I'd like to see the effects of global warming on shorebirds and things like that. Pollution.
Excellent. Well, we've learned a lot about shorebirds, but there's still a lot of other mysteries out there to solve. Fortunately, we still have these young biologists here that have come through and figure out some of those mysteries for us. And who knows, maybe one day you will figure out the mysteries of migration.
Thanks for telling us about the mysteries of migration. There are still things we don't know, but we're always learning.